Namaste,
Namaste,
Techies.
Techies.
Namaste,
Namaste,
Anoop.
Harjit.
Oh man, good to see you.
um, after 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
2 or 3 weeks,
Yeah.
yeah. So you have big news because you shifted.
Yeah. I'm kind of trying to live a hybrid life now.
Ah, embracing both worlds.
Yeah, both the
You are
worlds.
brave.
At least I'm trying. I don't know. Let's see.
So what is it like to go back to the office? Because
A personal opinion, I don't like it. I feel it is a bit noisy, and meetings, we can't attend meetings silently, and I don't know, it is a bit different,
yeah.
so yeah, I don't like it, but you know how the situation is, right? So
Yeah. I remember when my past job, I was lucky, lucky few that had my own private office. So I do remember, having to make conversations or even talking to, our internal customers or whatever you want to call it, the users and stuff. I would have to shut the door, uh, not to be interrupted and not to have the voice go out. So I can't imagine like cubicles and stuff because you're just
yeah,
talking over each other and everybody's like, oh, you know. So,
yeah.
but I just came back about a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe, from the mothership, Microsoft at Redmond, Washington, because we had a meeting there with my team for a few days. So I got to see, like, I've been there many times already, like, so it wasn't a new thing for me, but they're building like a lot of new buildings and stuff like that, and there's a lot of emphasis I'm finding now, which is really good, is the comfort of employees, right?
Yeah.
Their workspace. So there's one building I went to, which is technically our marketing building. Other marketing teams are in there. I mean, you got like a nice, decent coffee place that makes, and you pay on your own for that. Then they have a floor that has a huge cafeteria, from you name the kind of foods and they have it there. It's
Mhm.
really well done. Then every floor has like your coffee, your tea, your drink stations, and your very environmental friendly. So there's no like paper plates and things like that. It's all
Yeah.
very environmental friendly. But anyways, so I got a
I
tour of the
think.
place, but they have made so they like they say work hard, play hard, right? Or yeah, work hard, play hard, or something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
So you have your working spaces, you have the desk that you want or whatever with your multiple, but you can walk away and go sit on couches, on that quiet rooms. They're like rooms that you just want to like have lights off and just sit there. They have play areas for, let's say, like pool tables and right. So if you just like, so let's say if you were working there with me, I would reach out and say, hey, Anoop, want to go shoot some pool real quick for 20 minutes, and we could go shoot the pool and then go back and work, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
I
good.
think a lot of, depending on which
Yeah.
company you work for, they set some places they have even like gyms, right? Some companies
Yeah.
have like a gym in house, so you can come in, do your workout, take a shower, go to work.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I,
all
I,
right.
I have seen those things here as well. But yeah, that didn't prompt me to go to office every day.
I know,
It's-
I know. Yeah,
um,
yeah. No,
but
I love working from home.
but the employee experience is the new mantra, which I've been
Exactly.
seeing since like after COVID or post COVID thing, right? So that's
Yes.
that's becoming bigger and bigger, I would say, right? So
Employee experience. I think you hit it on the nail there. That's the new norm, right?
yeah,
If you give the comforts and the benefits and the resources, they just there's no need for them to go up anywhere else.
yeah,
They have everything at their disposal. They will work and be productive, right? So
yeah,
some people like it. Some people like to do that and
yeah.
go to the office, and maybe sing somebody else or whatever. But I rather not do the commute, the driving, because I can be more
Yeah,
productive and
yeah,
start
true.
earlier and
Agree.
take care of the dog and all that stuff, right? So, yeah. Anyways, long story. It's a good chat. But let's. So, what are we gonna do today,
Today
techie wise?
is techie wise. It is Namaste Techies Graph show, right? Graph API,
Oh, you're
Microsoft
brave.
Graph API.
Oh, you are brave. Okay,
No, I'm trying to be.
let's see. Hey, you
I
know
don't know
what?
how. Yeah.
It's go for it. We'll make mistakes, but at least at the end of the day, we can
Yeah.
showcase something.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
human.
You can learn something, right?
Maybe we'll learn something.
Yeah. Let me try to share my screen. So this is nothing, right? I'll come back to this. Okay. So today we are going to play around this thing. This is nothing but a Graph Explorer. I would say
Mhm.
Microsoft Graph Explorer, where you can see lot of things and learn lot of things. Right. For example, let me give you a walkthrough. Right. What
Yeah,
is
I think explain what Microsoft
yeah.
Graph is real
Yeah.
quick and
Yeah.
how it, what it is, behind the scenes kind of and why it exists, right? So I will quickly jump in and say, for example, things like, you know, for example, Config Manager, where we all kind of started, is as a database, right? Is database driven. You don't have a database, you can forget about it. And Intune, which is the modern approach of management and stuff. Well, Microsoft Graph is really kind of like the database behind the scenes kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
you go ahead.
So
Go ahead and do your
yeah,
thing.
that this is the schema which is shared by, I think, created by someone from Microsoft. Apologies, I forgot the name, but it was there in the Microsoft Ignite. It was presented in Microsoft Ignite, if I'm not wrong, right?
Mhm.
Probably this is not the latest or up to date thing. I have made some amendments like this, right? For example, at that time there was no MEM Admin Center portal, right? So it was an Intune portal or Azure portal where Intune was part of one of the services, right? But
Yep.
as you mentioned, Graph API is an industry thing, not only for Microsoft, even Facebook and other organizations are kind of providing this feature. For example, for the admin, they can query something and they can get the data directly from the service itself, right? Rather than always going through the portal and getting the data. So if you want to automate the things, it is very much easy through Graph API. So we
Yeah.
are going to provide some tips
Yep.
to make this pretty easy, I would say, right?
Yeah. So the couple of the key things you mentioned, one is obviously automate or automation, which is why people like to use Graph API, and also like repetitive stuff that you can do in the GUI, you can do it with Graph as well. For example, in Intune you want to apply a specific, I don't know, policy or change a configuration of a policy, something, you can do that with Graph as well. You just need to
Yeah,
know the syntax and stuff like that.
yeah. So this is the kind of syntax, I would say, as you mentioned, right? So basically, you need to understand this. If you whenever you use Graph Explorer, right? I mentioned about the Graph Explorer and
Yep.
showed the Graph Explorer. This is the Graph Explorer, and here is where you need to put your query, right? For example, if I run this, it will run the query and it will give you some results. For example, this is the sample result. Why it is coming as mega? And it is because a sample query and it is connected to a sample service and it is giving
Yeah.
that because I have not logged in over here, as you can
Yes,
see.
that's what I was going to point, that you need to log in on the left hand side to your tenant
Yeah.
uh, to
So
get
if you So if you log in, probably I would be able to. Let me try to get that. Yeah, okay. I'm able
Yeah.
to log into the service, and now to get used to this graph explorer, you need to understand few things, right? This is where you sign in. You have already seen it,
Hmm.
and this is where you can change the theme and select permissions, etc., and
Yep.
accept some of the consents if you want, right? That this is the place to do that. So I have, for me, I have kind of accepted this already. Okay, and over here also you would be able to see that actually if you
Mhm.
are already consented, or you need to do some consents or something similar to that, right? That is where this is the place to see that modify permission
Yeah.
preview. Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's important because when you run certain queries or commands, and it'll probably fail, but it'll tell you that you need to go and change the permissions because you can't read into the information, right?
yeah,
So, and just like you showed, you go in and you expand that particular section and and change it.
yeah. And the other important thing coming into the syntax and other things, other important thing for the learning, if you are seeing it for the first time, I hope you are not. But if you are seeing it for the first time, this is where you can learn, right? How to. There are sample queries available over here, Graph API queries. For example, OneDrive queries related to Teams, search, security, right? If you want to see some alerts, you can just click on it, and that will see the query is running now. I just clicked on this, and
Yeah.
the query ran, and you get the result in the JSON format, right? So you can learn this way if you want to get familiarized with a graph explorer, how this works. So this is the main thing. This is where you need to put the graph API queries or graph queries basically. So depending on this, you will get the results over here. And there are multiple things over here, right? There are Graph Explorer at the moment supports 5 methods, HTTP methods: get, post, put, patch, delete. Okay, I think we can try a couple of them. Maybe get is the one I think I use it most, right? To
Yeah.
get the information from the service, cloud service, you need to use the get. And if you want to create something, for example, if you want to create a new Intune policy, you can use the post method, right? And
Hmm.
it is important to select the version as well, version of the Graph API. So if you look at Intune portal, MEM Admin Center portal, you would see most of the graph queries are going or using beta version of Graph API. Okay, so that is what used in MEM Admin Center. So you can use that if you want to get some details about your device management stuff. For example, something like this. Let me go to that syntax. Okay, so this is the example syntax for device management stuff, right? For example, you can see over here, this one is the default one, and this is from this place it is going to change. You can have a beta version, and you can have a
Big one.
1.0 version, right? And this is where the products come into place. Some scenarios, for example, for the device management, the resource you need to use, device management is the resource you need to use, and that is basically nothing but a device node in your MEM Admin Center console. That is what I understand, right? And if you go to manage devices, that is a managed device. Over there, you would be able to see all the details of the devices, right? Managed devices over there. So that is where you, if you, for example, if you want to filter based on some characteristics of that particular device, you can use this type of a filtering rules, etc., etc. So there is a bit of a learning curve.
But there's also
Okay.
the Microsoft Docs page and stuff like that where you can get queries and stuff to run for the things you need.
Exactly. Exactly. Let me try device management, device management, and run a query. Probably it will work. Probably it might not. Yeah, you can see that device management thing returned something, and you can see over here 200. That means it worked. Okay.
It's successful. Yeah.
Yeah. And then over here you would be able to see the subsections, the available options over here, and you can see managed devices, right? As I mentioned in the sample one, there would be a managed devices thing. Co-managed is there, and managed devices overview is there. Managed devices is there, right? So let's check managed devices. And in the managed devices, you would be able to see the 14 devices, and you would be able to see all the properties or attributes of that particular device. If you look at each device, you can see that. Okay. And if you want, you can kind of filter on that device, each device, one particular device, for example, in the name, right? For example, let me try to get one query quickly. So
Mhm.
filter based on now it is giving you all the details, right? I just want the device names in the result JSON format. So I will run this query and it will show only the device name. Okay.
Yeah.
So so that is useful in some times. So filtering rules are available. As I mentioned, query parameters, it is called, officially called, query parameters probably. And you can see it over here, and you can use this kind of queries to filter it down. And for example, if you want to kind of check one particular device properties, you can check
Mhm.
that particular device properties, for example, right? Probably this is giving much more information than
GUI.
yeah, GUI, I don't know exactly, but probably, right? I have
Mhm.
not compared all the attributes or all the
Right.
properties to confirm that, but there is a chance that it is giving you more information which is not present in the portal. This was all about device management part. Then you have an option to check the application, right? Managed application. Probably let me try that. Device app management, right? That is another one which you can check. Over there you would be able to see different applications available in Intune portal probably, right? And device app management task, manage app policies, apps statuses, ebooks, all these informations are already there in the
Mhm.
portal, right? You have seen ebooks in the portal, and managed app policies, MEM policies, etc. And I'm going to try with mobile application. I think that is where you would be able to see the normal application thing, right? And it is kind of messy, because of this formatting, JSON formatting, but it works well if you filter it down to a particular application. For example, if you want to check the
Seven
I
zip.
don't know, yeah, 7-zip or something, you can filter it down. um, before going further, yeah, I don't want to skip something over here, but let me try to get a filter rule similar to the device one, right? for example, if you want to just to see the application names, you can use this query, and you would be able to see 7-zip, 7-zip. I
There you
have a
go.
lot of
Yep.
7-zips, right? Adobe, all these things you can easily see from the from this filter rule. So filtering is also kind of easy once you are used to it. It is similar to, almost not similar, but you will get the idea, similar to SQL and all, right? Once you start using it, so that's also kind of okay for you, I would assume. And you can see a lot of things, right? For example, if you want to check the co-managed devices, there's something tricky which you can use. I have documented somewhere. I'm just checking for that. Okay. um, Co-managed devices or tenant attached devices. Probably this is the tenant attached devices. Maybe. Let me try that. So this is my configuration manager server, right? Uh, but it is showing up over here. Okay, but it says management agent as configuration manager client, right?
Mm.
And over here also management agent configuration manager client, and it says co-managed status is co-managed for this particular one, but for this one the status is ineligible,
Well,
that is
yeah.
not eligible for the co-management, right? Because the version is probably the server version we are having over here, maybe because of that, even though
Mhm.
it's okay. That was quick about the get
Yeah.
command, right? Portal over here, and if I press F12, if I can check for it, F12, and if I go to network, and if I go to, let me stop, clear this, and this is the button to stop. And now if I go to records, uh, one particular MEM, that particular
Mm.
server record, right? You would be able to see what it is querying. For example, if I go over here, maybe I'm not going to get this. I think, yeah, this one, right? Manage
Yeah.
devices and what it is searching, and what the result, etc., etc. Right? This is
Mm.
the easiest way you can get. Not the easiest, probably. One thing I'm going to share as a next thing, probably that is the easiest way if you want to kind of automate the things,
Yeah.
etc. Right? um
But it's a good way to learn, though, to know
yeah,
what's going on under the hood, right? So every time you're clicking on something, it's doing these commands behind the scenes. So
yeah, that's where I mentioned that the portal is using beta, and
yeah.
that is the latest one, even though it is not a production one from a graph API perspective, but it is a production for the Intune part of it, right? So
Hmm.
if, for example, if I copy this particular uh, value, okay, copy value, and get back to, get let me and get back to this, and try to run this query. Maybe it will give me the
Yep.
result, right? It is giving the details of that particular device over here, right? It is
Yep.
giving the same results. So as you mentioned, this is how you can learn things easily, right?
Hmm.
And start automating your stuff. Okay, so that was about the graph explorer.
Yeah.
Now let me quickly go to the post method, and quickly show um, some of the things that you can do in terms of creating a policy or something similar to that, right? For example, let me try to get one example over here. Device configuration. This is let me go back to get, and let me go back to um, this beta version and get one particular policy, right? This is the policy to skip the ESP. For example, this is a custom policy which I created
Mm-hmm.
in Intune portal, MEM portal, right? You can see all the details over here, and you would be able to, if for example, if you want to kind of create a duplicate copy or a similar policy, what you can do is you can remove that filter, and this will give you all the policy details over here, right? What are the policies available, and you can copy one of the policy from here if you want. For example, this one, SDMD Windows Start menu layout. For example, if you want, that's a big policy, so I'm not going to do
Yeah,
that.
don't do that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what you
Um.
should do before you make a post change,
Uh-huh.
go and show that policy in Intune,
Yeah.
and then make your change, and then you can show that it reflected back in the.
Yeah. Let me try to do that.
Go back to the one you had
That's
before.
my aim. And security devices. Okay, devices, Windows. Let me close this down for
Yeah,
now.
close that. Yeah.
And configuration policy and ESP. Maybe I will check with ESP. And this is the disable
Right.
ESP policy, right? One of the policy which I was kind of talking about. So this is the policy which we are
Yep.
going to create, and then let me go back to the Graph Explorer and check that particular policy. Disable. What was it? Disable, disable ESP. I think
ESP. Yeah.
ESP. Then it's not. Okay, let me try to find over here ESP. Okay, it's going to be a funny one. Yeah, so this is the one which we can use. So what you need to do is you can just copy the JSON for that particular policy, right? What is the best idea is to take the ID of that particular policy, the policy ID, and filter with that particular ID, so that you will get
Mhm.
only that policy that is easy to copy, right? Rather than
Yeah.
copying it from the entire policy stuff. Okay, so I have copied it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a favorite notepad over here, and uh, then opening a new explorer page over here, and it will be automatically signed in, and I will change it to post, and make sure I'm using the get beta over here, also post beta. And then I need to get that device configuration path over here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, this is the place you want to um, request for the policy. So for example, the request body, that is the place you will paste the JSON which you got from the other policy, right? So you are going to make a similar policy with some changes. For example, you can say namaste, namaste techies, namaste
Mhm.
techies policy, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the ID from here, because it
So
is
create a new one.
yeah, new one as per the standards or best practices, etc., right? So I don't want to kind of play around it. So that's I'm going to keep the same values. If you want, probably you can change it. That should not be a problem. I will change it to false if for the sake of it, right? So let's try to run this now. Once you are ready with this, you can just run, and let's see how this goes. Okay. Oh, cool. That worked now, right? So
Yeah, that
that's
was
cool
fast.
stuff. Yeah, it is fast and it worked. Now let me go back to uh, the
Refresh.
portal and let me try to refresh it. And always refresh is not very well executed in the MEM portal. And you
There it
can see
is.
Namaste Techies. Yeah. And you would be able to see probably the value is changed for the first one. It is false. Earlier
Yep,
it was true, right?
that's
So it was
exactly it.
true. Yeah. Now we
This is
change.
amazing for automation, right? So if you got a
Yeah.
lot of policies and you want to try to like filter out and then make changes to it, or even like if you're applying policy, a specific policy to multiple groups, and you want to make a change to that, you can just use this to do that really quickly, as you saw.
Yeah.
Um, so fantastic, great demo.
That's good. Now the let's switch the gear, and before going there, let me try to give you an overview of this particular thing, right? So, how do you feel about this? If you can get all the PowerShell command directly while you are going through all these configuration policies, for example, right? So this is where you would be able to see a greatest help from the community and from Microsoft, I would say, right? So first of all, I think I heard this about this tool or this extension from Ben. So
Okay,
big thank you for him actually for sharing
Ben from
this.
UK.
Yeah, Ben Whitemore. Damien has also done some excellent work on the
Mhm.
Graph API and explained it very well. And I think he presented this in SDMD conference last year. So yeah, so there are a lot of resources available from the community. You can make use of it, and this is one from I think Merrill and the team, right? Product manager, I think, product manager, Microsoft Azure AD, and he's from the customer experience team, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You and you will get all the details like PowerShell commands directly
So
in
that
the portal
tool,
itself.
when you install it, will add this Microsoft Graph X-ray feature, right?
Yeah, this is an extension in
Yeah.
Microsoft Edge. You need to just install this extension and
Okay.
then go through the portal part where you want to check, and you will get all these details
Perfect.
very quickly, right? This is
Mhm.
amazing, I would say. And you have an option to save the script, etc., etc., right? So I don't think this works for all the portals. I have seen in some of the Twitter threads, like some of the portals, newest ones might not work. This might not work, but I think this is available in GitHub, so anybody can add the code to make this work. I'm not the one because I don't know how to code. So yeah, this is amazing stuff. Big
Mhm.
kudos for the
Similarly,
team.
with ADUCT, when you are, using that Active Directory portal, and everything that you're doing, let's say you're creating a user account and whatever, in the bottom, gives you the PowerShell command that it's actually running to create that. So you can learn that way to learn PowerShell as well.
Exactly. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is readily available for you to check. So, for example, if you go to configuration profile, you would be able to see, okay, this is the thing to import. This is the module which you need to import, and this is what you need to use to get this result, right? Ideally, what you can do is you can make your own portal if you want, right?
Yeah.
So it is so simple
It's
as it
amazing
is.
what
Yeah,
you can get for the tools that
yeah.
people have created. So you want to show
Okay.
the docs page?
This one, I think, right?
Yep, that's the one. Yeah.
This is the doc page, and lot of amazing information over here also. Like
So it
you,
shows you if you go up a little bit
this one.
there, so you can see all the the things that are using graph, right? Pretty much everything that you're now, the cloud stuff is all graph underneath. Whether it's Teams, whether it's SharePoint, whether it's Intune, whether it's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, as you were mentioning, as you scroll down, tons of information. You got all the examples here and stuff like that. And if you poke into it, it actually gives you the commands and stuff like that that you need to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use the
There you go.
language, client AD, so a lot of detailed information, advanced information, which we have not covered in this
Yeah.
demo. You will get it from the graph documentation from Microsoft. So that's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Hey, I think, do you want to add anything?
No, I think that's good. Just realize that just what you see in the GUI is not really happening there. It's all happening behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
It's either uh, running PowerShell stuff, or it's running these API calls and stuff like that. So that's kind of like I said. I mentioned the database concept, right? It's just no database, but this is what it is. This is how it's pulling that information you need. You can create automations. You may need to do, like, for example, some reporting, so something like that for specific things in the tools you're using, like Intune or something else. You can leverage Microsoft Graph to get you that and create your, even maybe pump it into Power BI and stuff like that, right? Because people do amazing things with that stuff. So, but it's super powerful. Yeah. I got, just a quick plug is that I got, heard about Microsoft Graph a few years ago when I was hanging out with our friend Stephen Hosking, right, who's also a fellow Microsoft guy from Australia. And he's heavy into Microsoft Graph, and he was showing me some stuff. I'm like, it just went over my head because I didn't understand it at that time. It was kind of, but the future was just starting with it. This is a few years ago. So and here we are, right? Yeah. So amazing, great demo. I mean, I think there's a lot, for people to realize, and you showed some third-party stuff and those extensions and stuff. They're super helpful. Oh my God, it's and again, we'll put some of these links in our video recording under the description, so you guys can easily click and get to the extensions and Meryl's blog site and stuff like that too. So good stuff.
Okay.
All right. So until next time, isn't it? I think we're done. Until next time, you know where to find us, and
don't forget to subscribe, share, like. Unlike button is gone, so don't do it.
Yeah, give us some feedback, and we're always happy to hear from you. And I think hopefully we didn't miss anybody with your comments and stuff, but we try to reach out as much as we can. And we missed you. Please re-comment. We'll get back to you. But thanks for watching, and thanks for your support, and spread the word, right? Namaste, Techies.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.